Yo, what's going on, everybody? Los here, coming back at you with another video, and I'm back with another unboxing video. And I have this stack right here. Yeah. So, if you want to know what I got, you know what to do. Hop on that train, take a journey with me. Alright, so we're back, and like you've seen, I have quite a bit of packages saved up for you guys. Again, I try to group these together and, do one large video when I can. Just, time consuming and everything like that. So I try to group these together and then do just one video. So we're going to get into it and see the books that I was able to get. I usually get these from all over the place. This time I got a few from new old place, I guess. So it's a place that I've purchased from before. Haven't been there in a while. Kind of went back to see what they got and found a couple books. So we're going to get into all of that. But first, we are going to open the comic cam so you guys get a better, closer look at these books. So the first two books that I'm going to show are books that they've already been taken out of the package, so I know it's not technically unboxing with these guys, but these are two books that I bought from Mercari. And if you ever purchase anything from Mercari, you know that you have to unpackage and look at the what your item, whatever you purchase, and you have to rate the seller or buyer in any case. And that's the only way that the buyer, or the seller, actually receives their money, right? So you have to rate them, and they usually give you like 3 days to rate them. If you don't do it in 3 days, then you get an automatic rating, and then they get paid. But it's kind of a pain in the ass if you're going to be a seller, and you're waiting to get that money in. You would like to get it in as quick as possible. So usually when I buy something, I rate the person. I try to open up packages as early as I can, and check everything out, make sure it's good, and then I rate the person so I know they're getting paid in a timely fashion, which is what I will want when I sell on there as well. So hopefully people are doing the same thing. So I'm going to first show you the first two books that are already unboxed, and this is a collection or a series that I want to try to collect. I think it's the first series is relatively short, maybe like 20 something issues, I believe, and I already got issue 1, which is one of the bigger ones, and it's a character that doesn't get spoken of too much, and it's this guy right here. So the first one we have is Mr. Miracle number 4. So I have issue number 1, and I actually have it signed by Jim Steranko. So if you don't know the story behind that, Mr. Miracle, the character, is actually based off of Jim Steranko's real life. So before he got into comics and everything, stuff like that, he was actually a escape artist. So when Jack Kirby was creating this character, he actually created it in the likeness of Jim Steranko. So I thought it was pretty cool. Got him to sign it, so I thought it was awesome. It's like, hey, this character is yours. And the funny thing is, he knew why I was getting it signed. So he knew it was based on him. So I thought that was pretty cool. So this one is number 4, and this is the first appearance of Big Barda. Character is really cool. Obviously, it's the love interest and eventually becomes the wife of Mr. Miracle, and they have a kid together, stuff like that. So there was another run. I'm not sure if it's considered like the 4th series, 5th, whatever it is. But in that newer run, I believe like Tom King and stuff like that wrote it. I really enjoyed that series, and it got me to go back into the original. And so I wanted to kind of get these characters' first appearances, but I do want to try to complete the entire run. So this person on Mercari had they were selling multiple books, and they had this one, they had another one, which is this guy right here, and that is issue number 6, and this is the first appearance of the Female Furies. So I believe obviously Big Barda is part of the Female Furies, and there's a couple other characters, but this is the first team appearance of that group. And I kind of grouped them together and sent an offer for both books, and they accepted, and I was like, hell yeah. So been looking for nice decent grades of these, nothing like too crazy. I'm not trying to get like 9.8s or anything like that, but nice, low, like high mid grade, if you will, in that range. And these pretty nice, right? They present well, they'll press out nice. But I thought it was just awesome that I was able to get two of the bigger books out of the way, especially two of some of the more popular characters of this run. I know like issue number 2 is Granny Goodness, but I thought that was pretty cool. Got a good deal in these. And funny thing with issue number 6, as well as being the first female Furies, it's also the first appearance of a character called Funky Flashman, and it's a parody of Stan Lee. So I'm wondering if this title was written by Jack Kirby in a time when they were kind of like butting heads, and obviously when Jack Kirby left and went to DC, maybe there was that little friction there, and he just kind of wrote this character to kind of like poke fun at Stan Lee. So thought that was interesting that character's in this. So thought that's pretty cool. So hopefully I can continue on with that run and try to like finish it off. Most of the books, the other books in there, are not too tough to get, so hopefully I should be able to finish that off. All right, so let's move on to the next ones. All right, so this next one is I know a lot of people are not into like variant covers, but I am. I appreciate the artwork on some variant covers. It's just a way for an artist to kind of express themselves and do something different on the cover that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with story inside, right? Sometimes the covers, it's a crazy cover, and you're like, what the hell? Like, you look inside the story, and it has nothing to do with it. So I just appreciate the fact that they get a chance to kind of go wild with the cover, and that's why I appreciate variant covers. I know sometimes they can be overdone, especially now, currently, but back when it wasn't so prevalent, I've been trying to look for some of those, and one of them is the like original Venomized covers that they used to do, and I found one. I've always keep my eye on them because they can be a little pricey, and whenever I can get a deal, I try to find it. There was somebody who was selling one that I was looking for a while, and I asked for some pictures because they didn't really have too many, so I asked for some pictures. They sent me some, and I noticed something in the back, and they were like, oh crap, didn't even realize that. So they lowered the price of the book, but I also sent an offer because I still felt like it was still a little too high, but I sent an offer and they accepted. So I was like, hell yeah. So the book in question is this one right here, and this is the Defenders number 2, and this is one of the Venomized covers, and I believe this is from like the 2010s. So this is when these Venomized covers weren't as like prevalent as they are now, right? Everything's venomized and carnageized and all that stuff. These are the original ones. I know there's some that are very expensive and very tough to find. So whenever you can find them for a good deal, I try to snag them up. And you hardly ever see these in the wild. So I thought this was awesome. Love this cover. I'm not sure exactly who is the artist on this cover. I will definitely look that up and post it somewhere there so you guys can see that. But yeah, it's just an awesome Venomized cover. She-Hulk there. That looks like Iron Fist, and that's probably, I don't know if that's, I would assume that it's Power Man, but it kind of looks like it's Wonder Man, but I don't know. But I know that's Iron Fist and She-Hulk, but thought it was pretty damn cool. So happy to snag this one up. Sorry, I don't have more information on that one, but you know how it goes. All right, so the next one up is another variant cover. It doesn't say it on the cover as a variant, but it might be like either a second print variant or something like that. But again, I like to grab books that you don't normally see all the time, right? There's always like the big key issues and everything, stuff like that. I know everybody's always showing those, but I like to show like sometimes the random keys or the random variant cover and stuff like that. So I like to collect those, and one of them is like early works of artists, right? That I like, and this is an earlier Creighton Cline cover, and he was on this title right here, which is an X-Men title. So it's I always like butcher the name of this. It's like X Necrotia. I could probably be butchering this. I'm very, very bad at pronunciation of like words and names and stuff like that. But this is an awesome Clayton Crane cover. He did a lot of these. I believe in either in this title or in this series, there's a lot of homage covers like to movies, especially vampire movies. He did a lot of those. So I thought that was pretty cool. And this is always a cover that I've always wanted. Always had a trouble finding it in the wild. I found this on eBay, and somebody had a really good deal on it. It was a nice high grade. This book, because of the black cover or the dark cover, you can really see spine ticks that pop out all over the place on this guy. And this one was actually pretty clean. So happy to have this one. Funny enough, I got this from the page or the name of the store, sorry, is Bernie's Baseball Sports Cards. Oddly enough, I got a comic book there, and they sent me a nice little card. It has like a little discount code off of like mystery packs and stuff like that. I'm not sure if this is like a one-time deal or if anybody can get it, but I'm not sure if you can, or maybe this one. Maybe at the end I'll show it a little bigger so you guys can see that, and then maybe get a little discount too. I'm not sure if it, like, again, if it's a one-time use, if I don't get it, if I use it and then nobody can use it, or if it's just a new customer thing. But I'll throw it out there, and if somebody wants to kind of go for it and get some cards or comics or something like that. But thought that was pretty cool that they threw that in there. All right. All right, so this next one is so when I had spoke about buying from a new old site, so Hip Comics or Hip Comic is another eBay, Mercari, whatnot kind of site you could buy comics and stuff like that, and I purchased from them in the past, but I haven't been there in a while. Every once in a while, sometimes there's things on there, and everybody can price books however they want. But sometimes I found that the prices could be a little over the top. And but every once in a while, they do have like auction styles, right? Not just buy it nows. And sometimes you can get a pretty good deal, especially when the auction ends at like random times, right? So like the middle of the day when people are working. Or late at night when people are sleeping. So, was able to kind of jump on and kind of save and watch some books that I was looking for. And there is a series that I want to try to collect. I believe it was only like 10 issues. I was able to actually get issue number 1 for like $3 recently at the Comic Crawl. So oddly enough. And, somebody was actually selling a whole bunch of these. And they started for like 99 cents and stuff like that. I ended up getting these for just over that because there was a couple people bidding, but I still got them for relatively cheap. And I was almost able to get the entire run, but I was beat out by somebody on some of the issues. So I'm going to try to put these in somewhat order. Of number order. So let's do that right there. That. Okay. So the series in question is V for Vendetta, and like I said, I was able to get issue number 1 recently, and I missed out on issue 2, but I was able to get issue 3 and issue 5 because I missed out on 4. Sorry, trying to get this one, issue 5. That's kind of crunched there. Sorry, the bag. Got issue 6, issue 7, issue 8, ooh, and issue 10. So not missing much. I think I'm missing 2, 4, and 9. I think so. There's only a couple books that I need. None of them are particularly high cost, high value. Issue number 1 is pretty much the only one that's actually valuable as far as like, you know, resale value. Everything else is just, you know, common books that you can find. They are a little tougher to find. It's not a heavily print run series, but you know, awesome series. Love the movie, and you know, anything but Alan Moore, definitely gonna grab it. So thought that was pretty cool. So nice to be able to complete a larger chunk of it when you can. And on to the next one. And speaking of another run that I want to kind of complete, and I know I've always like mentioned that I really don't collect too many runs, but I will if the run is like short enough. I'm not a big you know, run guy when it comes to completing something that's, you know, 800 issues, 500 issues. I can't do that. But you give me a short series, you know, 20 something issues, 30 issues maybe, you know, I'll do something like that, right? That I don't mind doing, but when it's like super crazy, I can't do that. It's just too much. It's too much time, too much money, too much. Yeah, it's just too much. So, sorry. So a series that for some reason, I just realized that I had quite a bit of issues of this run, and I was like, you know what? I'm pretty damn close to actually completing the whole thing. I have issue 1. I have some of the other issues that command fairly good price. I'm like, why not just get all the other fillers and just complete it, right? It's only 38 issues. And the book in question is Harley Quinn and her first solo series in 2002. Or 2001, whenever it started. Maybe it was 2001. And like I said, I have quite a bit of issues. So, again, found this on Hip Comics, and most of these I actually got for 99 cents because just nobody bid on them. And so the first one we have is issue number 23, and then we have issue number 26. I don't believe any of these are like any kind of significance. If they are, I'll note it somewhere on there, but I don't believe they are. They just might be just like low print run books. So we have issue number 28. We have issue 30. And what I didn't notice on this one when I put the bid on it is this stain right here. I don't believe that's supposed to be there. I think this cover is all supposed to be white. So that kind of sucks. But I got it for 99 cents. So I'm not too mad, but it just sucks that was there. And I think there's no way to like retract your bid on Hip Comics. So, you know, it is what it is, but it was Wizard Book of the Month. So if anybody remembers Wizard magazine, that's pretty cool. We have issue number 31. And I want to say issue 31 or issue 30, but this is the first time in this run that like her face is uncovered or something like that on the cover. So, you know. And then issue 34. So again, nice little chunk that I was able to take out, and they were all 99 cents. So yeah, I'll take that. Okay, so this was, I believe this was an eBay purchase, and I saw it, and I offered the person the deal. They accepted it, and it's a series that I always had my eye on. It's an interesting character. I believe she has made an appearance in the MCU. So to give you a clue, it's a female and it's the MCU. And like I said, I've always had my eye on this. The prices actually shot up on this book for a while. They kind of came back down, but they're still back to where they were originally at. Maybe, I'm not sure if they dropped even more than that, but for what I think I paid for the entire set, I think it was a very good deal and nice high grade. I don't even see not one spine tick on this guy. It's one of those things that I completely forgot what I bought, which we all have that problem, right? We buy so much crap that we don't like, oh, I don't even remember buying this, or when I bought it. But yeah, I got a great deal on this because I got the entire set. And the set is Bloodstone. So we're going to go backwards this time. So we got issue number 4. So I believe that was like kind of like an Indiana Jones type cover. We have issue number 3. All right, so you're supposed to be like something like Monster Hunter. Then we have issue number 2. And then issue number 1. So whole run. And like I said, issue number 1 is clean, awesome. Don't no ticks, no nothing. I mean, just a clean cover. But yeah, one of those books that, like I said, they shot up when she was kind of announced to be in like the Marvel like special. And character, interesting character, is not used so much. And I believe later on they kind of change her character a little bit, and she has like red hair or something like that. But who knows where this character goes, if Marvel decides to kind of go in a more darker tone and use kind of like that more monster supernatural thing. You never know, she could pop up a little more. So I thought it was a nice time to jump on this. Like I said, it's those things where I some series and some characters I try to collect, and this was one of them that I just kind of waited on, and I think I got this. I'm pretty sure I got this set for less than what most people pay for just issue number 1. So yeah, happy about that. So definitely happy to add this set into the collection. And I believe we are on to the last book. And again, not sure if this last one is like the big grand finale or is just like a, nothing burger, want. After obviously just showing like the whole Elsa Bloodstone set. So hopefully this was something, a little, grander, I guess, to complete it. I know the box was decent size, but it didn't have much in it. It was literally one book and a lot of filling. Okay, so at least the last book is it's a good one. I have a copy of this, but I had to get another copy. The price was just too good. I don't even know if I submitted an offer. Maybe I did, but it was just so low already that I had to have another copy. And it looked nice. It looked clean. A couple little ticks, but nothing color breaking. But I had to have another copy. I had to. And it is this guy right here. Black Widow, number 2. The Stephanie Hans, smoking gun variant cover. I love this cover. Again, this is the second copy I own now. And the deal was just too damn good. And for the condition that it's in, there was no way I can pass this up. So definitely happy to snag this one. Definitely happy that it ended on a high note. And it wasn't just a dud. But yeah, this again, I can't. This cover is just amazing, right? You know, the smoking gun cover with Black Widow on, kind of in the silhouette of the gun. I mean, just an awesome cover. Stephanie Hans is awesome. I don't think she gets spoken of enough. She's done some amazing covers, and I actually have quite a bit of her covers. It's just because I just gravitate towards them. Her art style is amazing. So yeah, just happy to have another copy in the PC. Who knows if this stays? Maybe I look at both copies and see which one is better. Maybe this will be a nice one to get autographed, and maybe the other one gets moved on. Who knows? But that's the haul. Hopefully you guys enjoyed those books, and like I said, I'm going to show this right there. Hopefully you guys can see that right there. There you go. Bernie's baseball sports cards. There's a QR code, and as you can see, there's a 10% off mystery packs and 5 cards and stuff like that. So hey, right, Bernie fans, you get extra 10% off. So there you go. So go check out the website, and maybe they have something for you, right? If you're not into cards, maybe they just have, baseball cards and stuff like that if you want to just do that. So that was it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the haul. Let me know which books you enjoyed the most. And until next time, talk to you guys later. Peace.